Awesome. Dude, that was gnarly. That was awesome. The set and that video. Thank you for making that video for us. That was super, super cool.
Sure.
One wheeling. What the hell? It's so cool. Like it's such a new thing. There's probably a lot of people watching that don't know what a one wheel is, or like the history. I don't know if you know any of the history behind one wheeling or anything, or like, where it came from, how long it's been around. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I guess I'll start all the way back. We're going to start here. Well, I'll start before the one wheel, I guess. I saw on the one wheel's patents that they had cited this like self-balancing like scooter from like 1929. So like the technology for this is like kind of been around and been thought of for like 100 years already,
That's crazy.
And like apparently right when those patents expired, this company like hopped on it, and they kind of like jumped in it. He claims he invented it, but like, he made it what it is, like this, nobody, we're built on the shoulders of giants, as they say, like it's a built technology that's been growing and growing. And, the one wheel is basically just the skateboard version of the modern electric vehicle, so you have like unicycles nowadays, and then you have one wheels basically. And the one wheel is kind of like, it's interesting because there's just one wheel, but there's like a lot of different electric scooters, there's a lot of electric bikes, there's a lot of electric skateboards, because the one wheel's not technically a skateboard.
Mm-hmm. So there's only one company that makes that?
Right, so there's one brand called Future Motion, right? And they make the one wheel. They have a couple models now, but they kind of like monopolized the game a little bit with some proper legal work and stuff, so they kind of like don't let anybody else make these things,
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So they just own the patent of this thing, and they're the only ones who make them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So like you can make a DIY one wheel, but it's basically going to have the software coding like not even as good as their original model,
Mm-hmm.
So like this is on their like fifth generation, like they have like hardware 7,000 coming out, like, so it's like they've been messing with that firmware. So really the secret sauce is in the coding even more than it is in like the actual board itself. These guys are like, they know what the board should do when you tell it to do what. And like, that's the craziest thing to me is it knows in a sense. Well, really you know what it's going to do so that you tell it what to do, It doesn't know anything.
Yeah, but I've never really thought about it until you just said that like there's a computer in there telling it, because when you jump on them, you kind of just like, oh, it's going, and then it feels almost like a throttle or something. But like for it to understand like the pressure and everything like that, and to like how fast to go, like it seems super complicated.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like literally just based on tilt,
Mm-hmm.
So like you could do a lot of things to the board to make it move,
Mm-hmm.
But then it's kind of like figuring out what the right thing to do.
Totally. I am a mess on those things, man. I've been skating for over 25 years, maybe longer, and I'm really good on a skateboard, and I get on one of those things and I get lost. I get lost. Like it's so counterintuitive to like what I'm learning, like leaning back, like the whole leaning forward thing, like confuses me so much and scares me. Like
that's what the thing is, because leaning forward is scary, right?
Yeah.
But tilting the board that way, that's not so scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I like to tell a lot of people is you don't really lean, just use your legs and press the board down. Like, so you generally want to just like push your front foot downwards instead of like
leaning
trying
forward.
to go over the handlebars.
That makes more sense.
Makes you go over the handlebars. Like, give you an example. Like today I was riding. I do a lot of mods to my boards and stuff, so sometimes things go wrong. Like there's this thing called Air 16. I don't know, anybody who knows one wheel is gonna be like, oh man, Air 16. It's like it's like there's some issue somewhere between your battery and your controller, and it's like, I got one of those while I was riding like 20 miles an hour earlier today, and the board just completely shut off. And like,
does it slow down? Or does it just stop?
Normally, when it gets Air 16, it slows you down, right? So I'm always just like ready. But this time it just dropped.
Oh
I've heard people say that, but I'm like, no, it doesn't do that. But I'm like, okay, no, it happens. But like, since I wasn't leaning forward, like I was directly over the wheel, like I ran it out. Like a good like 30 feet. I was running fast, like taking huge steps, like, and I had a speaker hanging from my like from right here. I was playing like a Volca Beats while I was riding, because like that's my new thing. I just like make like beats on the go while I'm riding the one wheel, and yeah. So like yeah, if you're in the right spot when some crazy stuff happens, like it's a little easier to manage.
Yeah,
you're going fast.
I gotta try it again with that advice, because. Man, it just like, I'm afraid of front manuals. Like on skateboards, it's the one trick that I'm terrified of. I can do everything like, pretty easily else, but like that trick terrifies me. I've taken it too many times to the chin.
Yeah.
And it just feels like you're doing a front manual the whole time you're on a one wheel for me.
That's a good way to put it, for sure.
But, they're super fun. Like yours is the first one I at one of the Fuzzy Puddles campouts. Yours is the first one that I rode.
Yeah.
I got to try, so.
That's, well, at the Fuzzy Puddles campout, I think probably the year before you tried mine was when I first like got into it, actually.
Gotcha.
Because like my buddy brought two of the original ones to our camp out. For anybody listening, Fuzzy Puddles camp out. It's an event. Me and the crew throw usually on around 420. We lucked out a couple of years where 420 was on a weekend.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That was a good one. Shout out Fuzzy Puddles once again. We like to shout out Fuzzy Puddles. We love them. They're that's the fam. Check them out if you get a chance. We'll send some links in the chat in a minute.
Yeah, we got releases and shows and Base Waffles fam, if you know these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out to Base Waffles as well.
Always shout out Base Waffles.
Yep. F pancakes. I'm not allowed to swear, but awesome. I guess you kind of answered. How long have you been one-wheeling? Like, how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it's been about like 3.5 years or so. Yeah, I was just going like full music, just everything in music, and then I like found this thing, and I was like, whoa, I could spend some time on this, have some fun. Like, I was kind of getting back into skating, and then like this thing popped up, and it was like, oh, well, I can go to the top of mountains and stuff. Like, I love going to the top of mountains, like that's fun. So
that's awesome.
So I would like basically do that all the time. Like once I got it, like, I mean, really the first couple times I rode it, like, was at music festivals. Like, not just Lost in the Sauce, like also Symbiosis. So like, I probably ridden it like 3 different music festivals before I like actually was like, I need to get this thing, But
yeah, that's where I keep seeing them. That's like,
right.
It seems like the dream to get around.
Yeah.
Although they're super heavy, so like once you get somewhere, it's like you really got to babysit that thing. I feel like, because you get drunk people trying to steal your one wheel and ride it.
That's the one thing, is you gotta like figure out what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
After you're done riding, like, yeah. All right, what next?
You don't want to leave that in your tent, really. Like, I mean, you can, but like that's terrifying.
I know.
I mean, I leave my controller in the tent, so I guess it's the same.
I know. It's weird.
Luckily, we go to festivals. We don't really have to worry about that because the people are pretty chill.
Yeah.
I'd just be more worried about like endless drunk people asking me to use the thing and just being like, "Oh, you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah,
I'm not liable."
Here's a warning. Yeah. I see like festival security rolling around on those things. They're working. Like, that's so perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you? Assuming like watching that video, you skated before. How long did you skate for before? Have you been skating your whole life? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say like when I started. I pretty much was always skating.
Same. Yeah,
as long as I could remember. Like,
has it taken away from your skating? Do you even skate anymore, or do you kind of just do the one wheel thing?
Well, like, I mean, I kind of like took a little break from skating when I was like kind of like taking college seriously and stuff. Like, but after I was like finishing up with all that, I was kind of getting back into skating, but like I still wasn't as good as I was like when I was a kid. Like like
we never are.
Free flipping the 3 block back in the day. It's like,
yep.
Like my homie kick flipping a 3 block nowadays is like, I don't even want to try it.
Oh,
but at the same
yeah.
time, I'll jump off a 3 block on the one wheel. So like it's interesting. You know what I mean? It's not the pain that hurts me. It's just like the confidence that I'm gonna like land it quick enough to not like really seriously not be able to do something else afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to be able to keep riding. Like the pain goes away.
Yeah. I've been kind of just pushing a skateboard around lately. Like I skate every day, but I can't do ramps or parks anymore. It's too
Yeah.
scary. I'm getting older. If I fall, I don't want to be able to I'll be down for a month. So,
Yeah, that's why
but I'll never stop pushing. I'll
Yeah.
always kick around the city.
Yeah, there's
It's the
always
best way.
there's always little curbs and kick flips, skateboarding never goes away,
Yeah, I can manual all day.
Yeah.
So is there other people as gnarly as you? It's a funny question, like a weird question, but I've never seen anybody doing rails and transitions and stuff. Is there a community who's super into tricks that are doing rails and stuff like that too, or is this kind of innovative or?
There's definitely there's a big community of trick riders now, and a lot of the stuff is flat ground nowadays, because the one wheel doesn't you can't really ollie it from the beginning, so you have to do something to get in the air, so what I put on my board are these things called flight fins. I usually keep at least one board with those things on there because I usually have a couple boards around. But it basically turns your one wheel from a skateboard into more like a snowboard.
Oh, cool.
So in that sense, you're locked in if you want to be. So
I see. That's how you launch.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I was like, how is he ollieing on this thing? Because when you push back, if to ollie, it's stop. It'll stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're locked in. That's terrifying.
So it's interesting. I have to jump while I'm perfectly level. If I try to lean forward and lean back, it jerks super crazy. So you have to be it's weird going 50 miles an hour this way and still jumping perfectly up this way, but then in the middle of the air putting all your weight to one of your legs, but then instantly counter rotating backwards and
it's terrifying.
Yeah,
that thing weighs a lot. How much do they weigh?
They're stock 26, 27 pounds, and then I put a little bumper that adds a couple ounces, and then the flight fins add a pound or something, and then
oh my god,
depending what tire I have, it might be a little heavier than the stock one too. But
that's crazy,
it's close to
bro.
30. I mean, they're coming out with the new one wheel in January that's supposed to be 35 pounds. So
it's faster, or
it's faster and it goes longer. It's basically got everything that we've been asking for. 'Cause the one wheel XR is what I've been riding for 3. Well, I got the Plus, which is right before the XR. Is basically the second model, and the XR is the third, which is the same as the second, but it goes longer.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're coming out with a completely redesigned board, that actually is meant for trail riding. Because normally we would mod them to make them good for trail riding, but this is supposed to go 30 miles and have a treaded tire, stock. So
sick.
So there's some
sounds
cool
awesome.
stuff on there, but we're all kind of I wonder what's gonna happen, because their pint, which is the kind of most recent board, it wasn't what a lot of us wanted,
Mm-hmm.
but it's what people want. It's it was the mini me board,
Gotcha.
we all wanted the board that didn't break, and we
Mm-hmm.
could just throw it off stairs all day without worrying about it,
They got more of a travel board or something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but then they just kind of revamped that board and made it go even farther. So basically now they have a board that's lighter than the XR but goes the same distance.
Sick.
So if you just want to cruise around.
What's your advice for somebody who wanted to get into it? Should they wait for this new board to come out, or should they buy a used board to try it out? Or
I mean, right now the used market is pretty good. So getting a used XR is a lot easier than it was even a month ago.
Sweet.
So anybody that's looking, a used XR is a great place to start. I wouldn't recommend anybody really get a pint unless they are a smaller person or don't really think they're gonna be shredding it. They just want to cruise it. Then it's perfect.
Cool.
But if you're a big guy or you want to do a lot of tricks, you're gonna want an XR.
Sweet.
Basically. But waiting for that GT is a hard question to answer. That's the new one that's called the GT.
Mm-hmm. It's because you don't really know exactly what it is, or
It's hard to say whether it's worth it for you to wait that long, because you just kind of need a one wheel all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hear that. I feel the same way with Pioneer products and stuff. It's they never kind of give you what you want, but they always take something away, and you buy something and then the new thing comes out a day later, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
These companies, Pioneer, there's plenty of other mixers and CDJs and stuff, but they might as well have a monopoly on the system as well.
Yeah, seriously.
So,
Nobody
nobody uses
brings
anything
them
else.
to parties or anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all just Pioneers.
How big is your community? Is it? I can't imagine, like, since it's only one company, is it worldwide?
So there's one company that makes a board, but there's a lot of companies around the world that make products for the board and like apparel and stuff like that. So it's pretty worldwide, you know. Some of the bigger like pages are like, you know, in the like tens of thousands, you know. I don't think there's any like brands besides the actual like OneWheel themselves that are like, you know, approaching the quarter millions yet. But like it's a rapidly increasing scene, you know. Like it's crazy how like into it people get, you know. Like I mean, I went into it, so like I get it, you know. But you know, people are like they like go and read all the forums and like, you know, just do it. I don't know, like everybody goes and gets like a whole bunch of protective gear and like dressed like a motorcycle rider and like
Nice.
full face helmet, and then like it's funny how like it's this thing, and like, you know, everybody's got a 360 camera and they're just like filming themselves cruising, and it's just like people just like want to be a part of
it's a community.
It's interesting. Like
I get hooked into that. That's why I've been afraid to get one. I get hooked into stuff like that, you know, like having a weirdo like kind of nerd community, like you know, not to say they're nerds, but like being able to like nerd out on like a thing that you all love, and like, you know, buy different, like, oh, check out this cool like kendamas for me for a couple of years.
Right.
Like I think our crew and our community is like really into weird stuff like this. You know, like kendamas, OneWheel. It's like we all are like, like we all get a little obsessive and like in a good way. Music and weird music. I mean, it just fits the whole vibe.
I mean,
of course.
We all met like through weird music, so
exactly.
It makes sense. We're all in some weird stuff.
Talking about music, I mean, we'll change the subject a little bit, but like, how long have you been producing? Because I mean, I've liked your music since I've met you. You've been a sick producer. I've known you for at least 3 or 4 years now. I think at least maybe more, 5 or 6.
Time flies, dude. Like I remember when I could. I remember when years. It's been a long time. I mean, wow, it's 2020. So I guess I could say like 11 years now.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Like, yeah.
Did you start DJing or making music first?
I was honestly like I was DJing like on virtual DJ like before I was like making any beats, you know. But I used to like do little mini raves at high school, and like I had a touchscreen computer. So I'd roll around with a speaker in my backpack, like even in between classes, just like bumping, you know, and like when I would pass by like the security people, I'd like turn it off, so like, you know, like they wouldn't know who it was and shit. But
that's amazing.
It was great. Like my physics teacher let us have a shuffle club, and we would literally rave. Like people were like, you know, doing whatever they want, and my teacher was cool with it because he was like some hippie taught physics.
That's amazing.
Like, it was
tight. Before, like, I'm assuming you've probably been listening to electronic music for a while, but was there music you were into before electronic music, and are like you still into other music beyond like electronic music? Do you listen to other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think ever since I kind of picked up the OneWheel, like I kind of like branched out in like a lot of other ways. Like before, I was so heavy into bass music, and I just didn't do anything or listen to anything except bass for a while. And then I've kind of like branched out a little bit more and just kind of like seeing what else is out in life besides, you know, just what I do in my studio, what their friends do in their studio, you know. But so I've gone back to like, you know, the whole like kind of sublime kind of stuff a bit, but like nowadays I've been listening to a lot more like chill reggae. And just
cool.
Kind of like I got some buddies from Hawaii that have like a label, and I'm listening to a bunch of their music all the time.
Sweet. Anybody in particular, or?
The label's called Conscious Rhythms. They got a bunch of people.
Sweet. Check it out. Conscious Rhythms.
Conscious Rhythms.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love reggae, and I mean, a lot of my original music is dub oriented. So like I came up on dub a lot.
It's one of the closer ones to bass music, even if I'm like trying to branch out. It's still heavy bass, literally. So
it's the roots. It's kind of like it's kind of where, you know, the whole sound clash came from.
Right.
Have you been to Dub Club?
You know, I haven't been in like.
I think it's done, unfortunately. I think they're having one of their last ones or something.
Like not too long ago, but
yeah. It's the first club we landed in when me and my wife got to LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, reggae, cool. And I showed up, and it was just like Studio One reggae dub DJs with like original Studio One like MCs and stuff, and it was just incredible. It was such a good night. I haven't gone in years. I haven't been in like 3 or 4 years, but when we landed here, we went there like religiously.
Yeah.
It's such a good night. You know, Shoutouts Dub Club. I
Yeah.
think they're done, but if not, you know, I'm sure there's like lots of cool footage and stuff from Night of the Line.
Yeah.
They kept it real. It was really fun to see like real Jamaican like dub DJs.
Right.
So, let me see. Who's your favorite producer right now? Do you have any like bass music producers that you're like, this dude's killing it? Even if it's a homie or something, it doesn't have to be, you know. Yeah. Especially if it's a homie.
I mean, I guess the first one that comes to my mind is I would shout out Sokka. He's doing really good.
Sweet.
He's making some dope music, playing some good shows.
Nice.
Shout out Sokka.
Sweet. Yeah. Tell him to hit us up. We're always looking for people to come on the show.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to represent the fam and, you know, big up the LA bass music community. We're going to try to get all of you people out there, if you're DJs, most of you guys probably know me, but if not, if you're a DJ and you want to come hang out and do this with us, just send us a message and we'll get back to you, because we're going to be doing a lot of these next year. We're going to kind of make this more of a regular thing. We've got some announcements about that coming up very soon. Let me see. Got a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Do you have any releases, anything like that coming up? Do you have any like music coming out or anything you want to shout out for that?
A lot of my time in the studio lately, I've been on Premiere. So like I've been taking like my music and other people's music and making videos, you know. So a lot of my releases that I've been working on are like videos. So like for example, this Friday I have this thing, like a whole series dropping. So it's gonna be like every Friday, it's gonna be a video that I made. It's kind of just gonna have varying topics, kind of like my artist. Fluctuating frequencies, like it's I don't know, I can't do the same thing, you know, like so every week it'll be a, you know, different take, you know. A couple of those clips from that video are gonna be you'll be able to see like how I got those clips a little bit more instead of just like boom, there it was, here's the next, like is a little bit more story to it and stuff. So kind of like if you want to follow and see like, you know, what it's like to like try to like become a one-wheel trick rider, like the videos every Friday would kind of show you that. And the coolest thing is, you know, like all the music is the homies' music. So it's like it's either the homies' music or my music. So it's like I don't know, it's almost like it's like a weird new form of DJing that I've found, where it's like you know, it's
like doing this. Yeah, Premiere is real similar to Ableton, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it feels so like right to be on there. Like I've
been saying the same thing, like finding the drops and stuff in the music and like having it hit to the drop. Dude, and like it's similar to this DJing.
Yeah, music is just like this one level, and then when you put video, it's all of that music. You can still do all the same audio effects. You can use the same plugins that you use in Ableton in Premiere. So I can go in there and put Neutron in there and trash and do like this weird distortion stuff like in Premiere and like pretend like I'm in Ableton, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's fun.
Yeah, I've learned so much on this job just doing that and had so much fun. Like I said, I feel like I found a second calling, and it's like very similar to DJing, but yeah, I feel you. Premiere's an awesome like program. I'm scratching the surface, and it's like it's a lot of fun.
There's so much to learn in that thing.
You made the one with Kevin Starfox, right? You made like his. I love that video. Yeah. It's so good. Shout out to Starfox. He's one of our residents basically here. He's been on the show more than anybody else. He's gonna come back on the show because he needs some original art. He hit me up today, and he was like.
Of that,
I know.
Cool I
Shout outs to Mark Wagonsail for that original art. He's incredible. He's been working with us almost since the beginning of the show. Check him out on Instagram. It's _leaf_litter. He just does super sick portraits of all our artists, and he's awesome. We have lots of cool art coming from him coming very soon. One other thing I want to talk to you about. You have people call you. Is your nickname? You're actually the fastest one-wheeler. Is that's a thing, right?
Well,
from what I've heard, Kim said you were the fastest one-wheeler in the world, and I want you to elaborate on this.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, I guess there's like there's maybe a time frame for that. I don't know. Like it's a title that you get for winning the race that OneWheel puts on. They put on one big race called the Race for the Rail. And I won that in 2020, so, you know, I have the title of the fastest one-wheeler. And, you know, when I think, I mean, the guy who won this year didn't necessarily go that much faster than me. He just, like,
that sounds like a challenge.
Didn't fall, you know? He's a good friend of mine. All those guys are really good friends of mine, you know? Like, we're not like, oh, I'm fucking faster than you.
Yeah,
You know, like
totally.
we're all like, dude, we're all like, you know, there's a couple of us that are like, it's gonna be one of us.
That's awesome.
Pretty much every time. Like if someone else comes up, we're like, dude, good job. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
awesome.
We didn't think that was gonna happen. You know?
That's sweet, man.
So like.
Yeah, it's the first time I found out that you were like competitive. Like the people were freaking out on the internet, and they're like, "He's about to race," and I like turned it on, and I was like, "What am I watching right now?"
Right, yeah.
I'll show a little video of it. Is that video from like? Is this from the thing or?
Well, so when the whole like you can't go outside thing happened, like this race, like they were like, "How are we gonna do this race?" You know, because it used to just be everybody shows up and you qualify by time trials and stuff, but this time they were like, let's do social media. So they like were like, all right, whoever gets the most votes on social media gets to go to Race for the Rail, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You
know how those go sometimes.
But I mean, I ended up getting second place.
Oh, sick.
So like I was kind of stoked, you know?
That's awesome.
Like I was like, wow, I didn't think like.
That's amazing. I never do good at those
I
things.
got more like likes than I had followers. I was just like, how does this? Whatever.
That's
like,
sick.
I was like, you know, I had some good friends that like support me and like I made a good network and it paid off, you know. Like I just like became friends with people that are like really cool. It's like OneWheel is crazy. Like a lot of the people that get OneWheels, like I mean obviously you have to have $2,000 like or at least like be willing to pay that over some months, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But aside from that, like people usually like into some crazy cool stuff, like you know, it's crazy the kind of people you meet. You know, it's so much different than like when I go to a festival. Like we just had this festival that's based on OneWheels. You know, and it was just like what?
Where's that?
I actually like kind of headlined it. Kind of like I don't know. Like me and Pee Wee and Connor like and we had like all of the first day and just base waffles did and like.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was
Where is it?
Sweet. It was So they've actually done 2 this year, and they're gonna keep doing more. But so the one in the summer was like kind of like south, like a little just east of Sacramento, and then the one that's in the wintertime is in like Humboldt area.
Oh, cool. So
like it's both super cool locations, you know.
Nice.
But the one in the summer is more like a race, but then there's like events. So like I DJ'd that in the summer, and then they were like, "Sick, come back," you know. So. Like in the summer, I played a set like you know, some kind of similar to the set here, like a lot of those original songs. And then in wintertime, I noticed a lot of my friends like had been getting into drum and bass because I like showed them a lot of drum and bass. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw down a fat drum and bass set for all the homies, you know.
Sick.
And it was just super dope, like just kind of playing what we wanted to hear, but at the same time, like we weren't there to party like we normally are, you know. A lot of times people go to parties and like a lot of the people there are like not just there for the music, you know what I mean? So like it was cool to go to a festival that was like everybody was there about the OneWheel
for a thing, yeah.
You know
totally.
what I mean? It was like it was just a different thing, you know, because everybody that went there also liked the vibes of going to a music festival and partying and all that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome.
It was like it's like a niche in a niche.
Yeah, let me know in the next one. I'd love to come
I'll totally.
check that out.
Go.
I'd love to go film something like that for sure. You know, we're gonna do a lot more like.
Get you on the OneWheel and get you a set, you know?
I know, man. I gotta get
I'm getting
on
all my DJ homies to get OneWheels, and then I'm getting them sets.
That's amazing.
Like for having a OneWheel. So
it's amazing. I saw. It was just funny at David's birthday party. There's just so many people rolling around, and I was like, oh my god, it's turning into a gang. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. I love it.
I know. I'll take most of the credit for that. I gotta shout out my homie Brian Hirano. He was like the first Fuzzy Puddles guy that got us all on. He lives in Vegas now, but like,
sick.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, you changed the scene, man. It's definitely a thing.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's a thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, it's inspiring. And once I gotta get on one because I can't push around. I think I'm gonna get tired of pushing, and it's gonna be really nice to have something that's electric and that I can go like off road with. You know, I wanted to get an electric skateboard, but it doesn't go off road very well. So
yeah, that's exactly the decision. It's like a lot of people were like, should I get a OneWheel? Should I get these? You know, they didn't get the OneWheel because. It's like the question is, do you want to go fast or do you want to go everywhere?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go
everywhere.
35, 40 miles an hour.
No, thank you.
Get like a skateboard.
I get health insurance. It's not that good health insurance, man. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anybody in the audience, in the chat. Do you have any questions? Yeah, let's open it up to the audience. I'll give it a couple minutes. I got a question while we wait for that. What's your favorite sandwich?
Oh man, my favorite sandwich.
It's one of my favorite questions because it's like,
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever heard anybody ask that question.
yeah.
Wow, man, my favorite sandwich. You know what? It's probably the ham and cheese croissant from the donut shop next to my house. Does that count?
Yeah, 100% counts. Man. Yeah.
I've been eating those things for like as long as I've lived here.
Are you from LA originally?
Yeah, I moved here when I was like, 6 or something, first grade, whatever that was.
Where were you from?
I was from NorCal originally, like just next to Sacramento.
So still in Cali.
Yeah. So
Cool.
Just born in the trees, get me on the desert.
Sweet.
You know?
Not many of you around here, man. It's like, most of my friends are transplants, I think.
I know.
I don't even know where most of the Fuzzy Puddles kids are from. They're all from Venus and Mars and shit.
It's crazy. Like a couple of us are like from like a few blocks away from each other, and like went to middle school together. So like it's kind of cool that like there's that little core of people that like actually like know each other from far back. 'Cause
Yeah.
A lot of our music friends are like, oh, dude, I like music. You like music,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. It's Dave and Kim. They kind of come from. They're not from Boston, but they spent their time in Boston and stuff. But it was while I was here.
Yeah.
And we all know the same exact people. We didn't meet until out here randomly through the scene. So.
Right.
It's funny how this city is when it comes to music.
Right. Yeah, I probably met David and you at the same spot. If it was at Producer Social.
Producer Social, yeah. Shoutouts Producer Social.
Yeah.
There's only one left. There's one still hanging on. Shoutouts to the Reno Producer Social. They just started back up again, I believe. So
nice.
We're gonna start doing them again once we have a little more time on our hands. But doing this whole radio thing and trying to do music and stuff, we had to like sacrifice a few things, but we still love the Producer Social.
Yeah, Producer Social was...
The Facebook chat, the Producer Social family chat is still up. People sharing music on that and stuff. That was a really fun period of my life. Shout outs to Stefan Jacobs too, my partner in crime on that. Got a question. What's the average day for Floating McFly?
Man. All right, average day. I've been waking up a little earlier than I used to, so, get up kind of early. Like, I'll tell you, like, the ideal, kind of the average. So I'll basically go, if I have the dog, I'll take the dog on a little walk in the morning, first thing. But it's a one-wheel, it's not a walk, So I'll take the dog on a run, actually.
On a roll.
I run the dog, get it out, and then I'll usually, like, if I'm hungry, I'll eat or whatever, but, like, honestly, like, there's a trail right next to my house, so, like, I usually just go right up that thing. Like, I kind of get sick of it because I ride it so much, but, like, I'm usually up there, in the morning. Like, that's kind of, like, the go-to. If I can just, like, some people take do a little jog in the morning or something. It's kind of, like, I can get up to the top in, like, 5 minutes, Like, if I want to just go up to the back, it's, like, the quickest little hike, but, and then, I usually come back, if I haven't eaten by then I'll eat then, and then I usually start, like, filming, and so, like, lately we've been just doing, like, me and the roommate Jesse, the homie from Hawaii, moved in with me after the other homie Kevin moved out, but we just been, like, going at it,
That's
like,
amazing.
Almost every day, just, like, I got a camera that's, not brand new or anything, but it's like 10 years old. I'll put a sick little fisheye on there, and it just, like, it's exactly the vibe that I, like, want for, like, my like what I'm going for right now, because it's kind of like I'm trying to keep that, like, slightly raw, even with my music. Like, I like that, like, slightly raw, like, nothing's perfect. It's a little bit like
I like how crunchy your music is. It's like sometimes I'm like, are my speakers breaking right now? And then it comes out and gets clear again. And you're like, oh, that was gnarly. There's some punk to your music. There's like a metal or punk edge to your music where it's like
metal-minded.
Yeah, really. That's why I like music a lot. Is it really is super unexpected. You don't know where it's gonna go, and it, like, really just, it's just so raw in parts of it, and then parts of it are beautifully just, like, crisp and clear, and it's like it's super cool. It reminds me of clipping. Clipping.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's half of my sound is clipping. It's like analog clipping is, like, the thing.
Oh, I'm talking about the band clipping.
Oh,
do you know
I
the
thought
band
you meant
clipping?
just, like, the act of clipping.
No, I mean, same thing.
I was like,
but...
clipping. Yeah, of course.
No, the band clipping. Have you heard them? I will show you after this. I have them on vinyl. It's a hip hop group that does, like, noise, like distortion noise hip hop.
Yeah, okay.
It's incredible. It's like one of my favorite groups.
I gotta check them. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess let me try to finish the question. So then I'll try to film, right? And then I'll come back and like usually unload the footage, and then it takes forever on my thing. Like I'm like, it's like this weird format. I have to like convert the files half the time to like just get them to like play on Premiere. I don't know. It's stupid, but you know. So I like spend a lot of time like on the computer, honestly, just like dragging files around and like looking at stuff. You know, so like it's like ingrained from my music stuff. I'm just like totally fine with just kind of sitting there and messing around with stuff. You know.
Same here.
All right, and then it's like usually the evening time is like the if the time is right, it's like that's when I'll try to meet up with like people for like a mountain like late night group ride. You know, sometimes people, you know, maybe bring some beers or like, you know, just kind of go up like big one we do all the time. Like I think people are actually doing it right now. Like some of my buddies, they're
nice
at Griffith Park. We'll meet by the merry-go-round and just like
go around the abandoned zoo and stuff. That whole area. Yeah, I love that spot.
You can make it all the way to the very top of Griffith Park.
Oh, that's sick.
So like
that sounds fun, man. It's sounding more and more tempting.
Yeah, you get like all the way to the top of the Hollywood sign. Like nobody's there. You know, in the middle of the night, sit up there with the homies, like enjoy it, and then just basically snowboard back to your car.
That's awesome.
You know? So
when you're going downhill, you kind of lean back too, right? Because it'll slow you down.
If you want to slow down.
Oh my God, that's a terrifying answer. We got one from Asteroids and Earthquake. What's the weight limit on a one wheel? Asking for himself.
I mean, I've seen a couple of times where like more than one person is on the one wheel. So like, you know, I think they advertise it closer to like 250, I think. But like,
you can probably
dude, you can ride the thing if you're over 300 pounds. It's just like not gonna go very fast.
Gotcha.
And it's like it'll do that thing where it kind of like tells you that it doesn't want to like push as hard as you want it to push. You know, it'll do that a little bit more.
Stutter a little bit.
Yeah, they call it the surge.
Who inspires you to shred?
Man, like nowadays, like I'm on a couple teams, and like, you know, all the homies on these teams are just like pushing everything to the next level, you know. So everybody that's on the Flow Live team and like the Flux Movement team and my Flight Fins buddies, like it's kind of like those are kind of like the three. I don't know if it's just my like shaded vision of it, but I feel like a lot of people would have this thought too, that those are kind of like the three like coolest like things happening.
Top teams, yeah.
Like in a sense, and like I'm like stoked that I'm like kind of like on all of them, like everything, like all the sponsors I wanted, like I like got them, and I was like, this is sick, you know.
That's awesome.
But like it wasn't just from like, oh, it was because like a lot of it was like through like genuine friendship too. Like it's not just like there's a lot of people that are good. Like I'm not saying like I think there's a whole lot of people that are like that crazy. Like I don't, like you're right, nobody else is hitting rails and stuff, you know. But having people constantly show me different types of tricks, because there's a lot of different types of tricks that I just don't do, you know. And people are like doing crazy flatline stuff, you know, where I'm kind of like the guy that like does the gnarly stuff, you know. Like some people, like if like I like to think of myself of the like more like the Jaws of skateboarding, like you know what I mean, like
yeah, just taking risks and doing big jumps, and
huge grabs and like you know, stuff like that. It's like
sick.
It's kind of like
that transition you do in that. I'm gonna play the video again at the end of the show. If people like at the end of the interview when we switch back over, just in case people missed it, and then we're gonna throw it up on the YouTube if that's okay with you. We'd love to throw it up on our YouTube. Yeah. So people you got to see this. If you missed it, it's incredible. Follow-up question: can two people? Yeah, can two people ride a one wheel? He said yeah.
Yeah, one of the first times I actually rode a one wheel. It was on the original one wheel, which is nowhere near as good as the other one. And I was like me and this girl were like, oh, can we do it? You know, and like we did it like a little bit, like we went a few feet, and then like they make the new boards, and like people are doing it so well, and it's like, you know, people like racing like that. Like at the Shred Fest event we had, like we were literally like there was doubles racing. Like one of them was like on the back, one of them was both. It's crazy. They had like chair races, because I don't know if you've seen this. It's the whole thing. You can put like a lawn chair on the one wheel. It's just like it's crazy.
Lean forward and back.
Like, people are like, they call it the one chair.
Oh my god.
But like it's like kind of one of the coolest things. Like like at the beach or something, like
Mm-hmm.
you just,
You just roll around the
sitting
beach
there, dude, on a beach chair.
That's incredible. That's so cool.
It's crazy. So yeah, people race like that. And yeah, you can do a lot of weird stuff with that thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I can imagine. You'll have to. We'll have to go out one day, and you'll have to show me around a little bit on one and see if I can.
Yeah.
My wife's giving me a look right now. I think she's. I know she agrees with that.
Yeah, me and Connor and Hansen we're always rolling like every night.
Sick.
You know.
Cool. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. That was amazing. That was awesome. Thank you for coming through and sharing your music and your videos and your stories. It's a pleasure. It's been awesome to know. It's funny. I've said this a million times, but like I feel like I've known you forever, but we've never actually like sat and had like a really in-depth conversation.
That's
so
true.
this
funny.
yeah, I mean, we always all the homies, we always see each other at like festivals, and we're always just like dancing and talking about music and like I guess like I mean we've talked about OneWheels a few times. Like I've picked your ear a little bit, but you know it's always like
and I picked your brain about OBS stuff.
Yeah, totally. But you know, it's really good to actually get to know my friends and like,
Right.
and you know, I've just more and more impressed by all of them. Like, yeah, I knew how dope you were at producing, but like, yeah, it's just a cool story. This whole OneWheel thing.
Yeah.
If you want
cool
to
to
give
do.
any more, she already put them in there. If you want to give any more shout outs or any more, like if you have any more things going on, I think you said that you have the Friday show.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I said where that was, but yeah, you can find that on the channel The Float Life. You know.
Cool. Yeah, we'll throw a link in the chat for you.
Yeah.
Check out The Float Life. Is it a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel. I mean, they got the other channels and stuff. But yeah, they're like, they're the cooler accessory company. They make the coolest. They make it so it's more like a skateboard essentially. Like they're
cool.
like the ones that like make you be able to grind. Like
Cool. I like those guys. Shout out to them. Awesome. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a bunch of entries for the the Crypto Renaissance event happening on December 10th. We'll be announcing the winner for that by the end of the week. Stay tuned. We'll hit you up personally. We have your information. If you did not win the ticket and you still want to join, you can check out our website on mobilecoin.com / Crypto Renaissance. We'll throw a link in the chat as well. Tickets are $750 right now. We have incredible speakers from the crypto world, the finance world, privacy world. It's going to be incredible. Then we have a bunch of absolutely insane music performers, a special guest that we cannot announce yet, but we have a bunch of live music during the day and then an after party at night. It's going to be really cool. Come down and hang out with us, learn a little bit about MobileCoin, meet some of the people who work there. It's going to be super cool. We're here every Wednesday. Join us next Wednesday. We have a really awesome show. It's one of the first shows we produced the whole thing. We've got two incredible hip hop artists from San Diego and SoCal, like Orange County area, I believe. It's Ray Riley and Kenneth Goodrich. We filmed both of these. We did like a rooftop in Los Angeles in a really cool warehouse space. I produced everything and edited myself. I'm super proud of it. They're really dope artists. We'll be posting up links and stuff to their music this week. So give us a like and a follow on our social medias. Give us a follow on here. Give us a sub. A big shout out. Somebody gifted a sub earlier. Mob Giftbot gifted a sub. Awesome. Thanks, Mob Giftbot. I think they're part of our crew, so that's super cool. I didn't know that was happening. Thanks, Mob Giftbot. Stay tuned. We'll be here next week, 6 o'clock. We have lots of new things coming up, lots of exciting announcements. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to roll this Floating McFly video again while we transfer over. I'm going to play a little bit of music for like 20 minutes, and then we're going to log out, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.